featured in this program, visit them online at midtownscholar.com. This week on PA Books, the authors of Encore Performance, Vicki and Brian Riordan.
Vicki Riordan, author of Encore Performance, How One Woman's Passion Helped a Town Tap into Happiness. Why did you write the book?
I wrote the book because there's a lot of stories to be told about this book. You lead with your strengths, and there's so many things you can do, no matter how old you are. And I wanted the world to know, I really did.
What are your strengths?
My strength, the top strength beside being a mother, I'm a dance instructor, and I'm a darn good dance instructor. I know I can teach people how to dance, and I decided through the years that I wanted to teach strictly adults because there was such a need for it. If you wanted to dance, you had to dance in a class with 8-year-olds. No matter how old you are. And it's not like the adults couldn't dance as well. The energy level is depressing to a baby boomer. And no, I didn't mention the average age of my dancers are 57 years old. So that's why I wanted to do this. I wanted to give everybody something more to do besides bingo and movies when they become a baby boomer. It's very difficult when women get married and have children. They more or less give everything up, happily give everything up, so they can raise a family, have children to begin with, get married, find that perfect person at the time, so to speak. But and then years later, when the kids go to college, and the empty nest syndrome not only is because it's empty in the house, but you had, I don't know, maybe 5, 6 girlfriends when you were 20 years old when you got married. You probably don't even know where those girlfriends are right now. So you're 50 years old, 50, 60 years old, and what do I do with my life? My husband likes to golf all day long. Actually, I do too, but in case the women don't like to golf, where am I going to go with a girlfriend? What movie am I going to go to? The mothers, our mothers, my mother doesn't even like going to movies anymore. So it's really hard to find friendships too. And I really truly believe in my past life, I was a social director, because it's not just tap dancing that happens in this studio. It's a lifestyle, it's a networking. I have right now over 500 adult dancers. And these women and a few men come from all walks of life. I have from doctors to housewives to business owners to cleaning ladies, and 84 years old is my oldest and 23 is the youngest. And you come in this class, and no matter what you do, actually I have 2 judges too. And you come in class, you're dancing next to somebody that may be 40, 50 years older than you or younger than you, but they're all adults. And all of a sudden, there's no age difference. It doesn't matter how much money anyone has in the bank. We're all friends because somebody in this line is going to help you learn that step in case I'm helping somebody else or one of my instructors. But there's a real need for it.
What does one of your classes look like?
Well, probably the smallest class I have is about 20, 25 people in my class. The people come in one at a time through my main doors of the studio here. And the more comfortable Brian and I tried to make things in the studio, we wanted, like behind me is our little lounge. And we wanted to make it so comfortable and so warm and welcoming that they would find solace in just sitting there and talking with some friends. Well, it works so well. I have people come in a half hour early for class, and it's sort of like a session back here, and they all have on usually a Tap Pup t-shirt from years ago or current, something loose fitting. There are no leotards in the Tap Pups, there are no tutus in the Tap Pups. You come comfortable. And after a while, everybody gets, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but dancers have spots in classes. And people find their spots, and after they're dancing a while, they'll find a comfortable spot for them, either in the front, second, third. Sometimes I have 4 lines of people. And they go in line, and as soon as they go in line, they group together talking until I come out to teach. And as soon as I come out, one of my dancers said to me, "You're better than a dog whisperer. You just walk on and everybody's quiet." And I said, "Well, that's good to know." But sometimes if they learn a new step or two the week before, instead of having the little groups of talking, as soon as it's their turn to get on that dance floor and before I arrive, somebody is practicing, 4 and 5 people are practicing that step and get it to, and I always tease them. I said, "Well, I see we practiced all week." It was wonderful. It's just wonderful. It's a lot of fun.
You mentioned the phrase Tap Pups. Can you explain what that is?
I sure can. The name of my business is Vicki's Tap Pups.
P-U-P-S.
P-U-P-S, like puppies. Actually, there's a little joke we say, you know, you can teach old dog new tricks. You really can because of that. But years ago, I started teaching adult dancing in 1986. So I feel after nearly 30 years of teaching adults that I'm pretty much a professional at teaching and knowing what adults need in an instructor. And then I went into teaching tap dancing. I started teaching 50s and 60s dances. Anytime I'd go out, if I would jitterbug, if I would do the stroll, if I would do the jerk or the monkey or whatever, there were so many dances back in the 60s. There was always these 20 or 30-year-olds would come up and say, "Hey lady, what are you doing? Could you teach me that?" So I knew there was a need for it, and at the same time, I decided, I worked full-time 9 to 5 as a secretary and office manager, but I was getting no child support, and I have 2 young sons. And I thought this working 9 to 5 just wasn't enough to make ends meet. I owned a home, and my boys were growing up. They needed different things. They needed sports equipment for schools. I thought, what can I do? And I thought, the more I heard people ask me what I'm doing and can I teach them, I thought, there's a need for this. There are so many people, the people that danced in the 50s and 60s, some of them forgot. The people that weren't around in the 50s and 60s because of Happy Days, they all wanted to be somebody from the 50s and 60s. So I called Sweetwater Township, where I lived at the time. And I called the rec center, and I said to the director, I said, "What do you have to do to start a program for your rec centers?" And it was Brent Smith, and he said, "Well, what do you have in mind?" I said, "You know, I have this idea." I said, "I'm a certified dance instructor, and I would like to teach a 50s and 60s dance program that goes from the stroll through the jitterbug to the holly golly." He said, "What? Who are you? And why did you call me? This is awesome." And it was so exciting that I was onto something. And he actually said to me, "When do you want to start? How many weeks do you want to do it? And I'm going to sign up for your class." So that's how that happened. And then later on, when my sons were growing and they wanted to go to college, I thought, oh boy, I have to do more. So one of my students in the 50s and 60s program came up to me and said, "Vicki, didn't I hear that you used to teach tap dancing?" I said, "I sure did." And she said, "Would you mind running a program for adult tap?" And I was real skeptical at the time. I really was. Even though tap dancing is my first love, There were no retro comebacks of tap dancing. There was nothing. And I'm like, yeah, I just don't know how many people would want to tap dance. I mean, how many adults before the tap pups did you ever hear, you know, I just want to tap dance? You don't hear that. Well, you do now. You do now. 80% of my adults call me. And the reason they're coming is because they've always wanted to do this. They've always wanted to do this. So, yeah, I have 500 dancers just tap dancing. It's amazing.
Well, Brian Riordan, you are a co-author of this book. How did you get involved in the family business?
Well, I was raised by the family business, really. I mean, it's, and considering I know, you know, the person who started it pretty well, it was a little, it was sort of easy. It was, you know, as a kid, I think we all kind of understand what our parents do growing up, but nobody, you know, we're afforded the fact, you know, we're allowed not to have to worry so much or understand how bills are paid or, but I always had a lot of respect for my mother's story as, you know, she had her first dance studio at 17 years old and you know, I grew up, there was this amazing photo album. It says Miss Vicki hand painted on there, and inside were kids my age, but it was from the 60s. And I used to look at these, it's this amazing sort of ratted and tattered photo album now, but it had all of these photos, these saturated, beautiful, colored, you know, photography of these dancers and all the costumes and big V's on their outfits, and it was V for my mother, Vicki, and it was, you know, so we used to look at this photo album all the time, and you know, she had her batons, she had all of her stuff that she did as a majorette, and so I was raised understanding the importance of dance, and I understood that all of her friends, I mean, all they did was talk about dance, and it was a really important thing.
But your mom was not dancing at the time while you were growing up?
No. This is, you know, when I was a kid, yeah, no, she was, you know, when my parents got divorced, it was, you know, well, first of all, my mother and I were always incredibly close. I mean, we always talked, and we had a really great connection all the time, and I was very interested in almost anything that she did. So understanding her life as a dancer, it just was ingrained in me. And when I was in junior high, she went back and started teaching the adult 50s and 60s classes. And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world, that my mother was a dance instructor, even if she did it once or twice a week. And I mean, it's just really cool that, and I had so much respect, and it inspired me. And you don't realize as a kid how much something inspires you until you're out on your own doing your own thing. And I moved to New York at 24 years old, and it was only then that I'm working on other people's brands and building, you know, ad campaigns for companies, that I realized that one of the smartest, interesting businesses that I've ever heard of was something that actually put me through college. And it just sort of happened. I was probably about 30 years old. I mean, I had to mature a little bit myself to fully understand how amazing my mother was. And I think that was the beginning of, you know, I started reading some articles just on baby boomers and what a powerful demographic that was. And I just said to my mother, you know, she was facing retirement alone, which, you know, it's in the book, and we air that out. It was a tough period for her. And I wanted to help her just feel a little bit more comfortable, you know, with where she was at in her life. And she had a fabulous small business that I don't think she realized just how fabulous it could be, or how big it could be. You knew how great it was.
I did know. I did know.
And I think that the word business was something that you weren't using that word. You were using it more as a sideline, or it helped make ends meet. And I said, no, I think it's like a real business. She's like, well, Brian, I mean, it's a business, but I mean, it's not going to solve for retirement. And so we started working together, and we started talking, and the more I shared with what I knew from New York and working in advertising and marketing, and it was a really interesting relationship and dynamic that she grabbed onto really fast and quickly. It didn't take much.
Yeah, actually, when I learned so much about advertising and branding, I was real sorry I didn't know about that when I was